So we'll start out with a little bit of a seated meditation. And then we're going to do a nice long discharge practice. It's been a little bit of a while. And the thing about a discharge practice is, it takes a lot of energy to do a discharge practice. And so just kind of check in with your body when you're doing the discharge practice. Notice, it doesn't have to be super vigorous. It can be kind of light. The idea is just to kind of shake up everything and then reorganize. But right now, it's so funny. I have a plant that it's over there, but it keeps coming directly closer to me. You can see it right here. I'm like, excuse me. We have done in the past the microcosmic orbit. You may remember that, yeah. So another version-ish of it. Let me put this down a little bit. When we're seated, is to utilize the Puryan Mudra. So this is thumbs, pinky, and middle finger come together. And the hands come just below the belly button. Okay. And in the microcosmic orbit, we're moving energy. And that's actually a practice I did a lot when I was sick. Because again, it's like a diagnostic tool. In that practice, we're moving energy through the orbit of us, which is parallel to the orbit of the sun and the earth and the human, right? In this practice, we're just going to hold Puryan Mudra right below the belly button. And the idea is that you're funneling and drawing in the light of the sun and the stars, the moon, all of the heavens into your hands. And it's like it heats up the well of you, to nourish you. And 2 weeks ago, when we were doing practice, we were working with the rising energy of a seed coming up out of the ground, right? It's so lovely now to see everything kind of poking up, and so you can think about this as kind of heating the well. It's also to kind of nourish you, but it's also that's where transformation occurs. Right? In the morning when there's a body of water and the sun comes up and there's mist, and it's like the bardo, that moment, anything is possible. There's the transformation. So kind of the imagery to work with here. Yeah. Let me just take this off. We'll sit for a few minutes. And I'll talk also just about the seat and the basics. So our seated mountain, you want to have the base supported. If you're sitting on a meditation cushion, I have 2 bolsters underneath my knees to help support them. And ideally, the hips are above your knee points so that your legs don't fall asleep, okay? The earthly doors are going to be closed, so that's drawing up on the pelvic floor or Mula Bandha. The heavenly gate, which is the crown of the skull, is open. And in fact, before we sit, sometimes it's nice to have a little tactile sensation to help you with the crown of the skull. So this is something that I learned a long time ago when I was doing my yoga teacher training, is take the heel of your hand, place it at the bridge of your nose, lay your middle finger down on top of your skull, and then that is the crown of your skull. And you can feel it, it's tender, right? So even when we're touching it, we're kind of activating it, giving some tactile feedback to that spot that we want to keep open. And then for any of you that have a yoga practice, when you're doing headstands, that's where you want to be. Okay. Just some information. So the crown of the skull is open. The earthly doors are closed. Utilize the Puryan Mudra. And I'll just guide us through a little bit of breath work first, and then we'll sit for a few minutes, okay? And then just do those little things, aligning the body, helping align the mind. And we'll take a deep inhale and gently hold it. and exhale. And if you need to release the breath before I give the prompt, please do. We'll do that a few more times. And what I'm doing is reminding myself that I'm drawing in the breath of all of the trees and the plants on the planet. It's just quite lovely, especially in spring. So take a deep inhale. Gently tuck the chin and retain the breath. And lift the chin slightly and exhale out through the crown of the skull. And we'll do that one more. Inhale. Drop the chin down even more, lengthening the back of the neck. And then lift the chin, exhale out through the crown of the skull. And we'll just sit for a few moments, drawing in light to our hands, allowing it to nourish us. And if your mind begins to wander off, just bring it back to the sensation of heat that may be building in your palms, or you can just simply notice any sounds as they pass through you. But just bring your awareness gently back to your breath and your hands. And you can, even on the exhale, begin to send the heat that is building in your hands into your body. And then just take another deep inhale. Exhale slowly. And you can pull the hands away from each other. Turn the palms up to feel all of the energy of the heavens falling upon them. And then turn the palms down to feel the energy of the earth rising up to meet your hands. And then hands to the human. And if you've been seated cross-legged, just extend the legs long. And you can just kind of flex and point the toes and the heels. So usually I sit in that for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so, and it's just a really nice way to kind of nourish and settle. Um, and again, utilizing the exhale to kind of make it hotter and warmer. Does that make sense? Like we do, like we move it with the exhale and feed it into ourselves. So let's come and stand. And again, as you're coming to stand, whether you're coming out of a chair or off the floor, you know, try not to use your hands if that's a possibility, right? Use that rising energy. And again, the ability to come from the ground and up off the earth is one that most Westerners kind of lose because we're always sitting in chairs, right? So come and stand up. Let me back this up so that you guys can see. And I have a client who we use our stuffed animals for some breath work. It's beyond sweet. So I'm going to move the mat out of the way so that I have a stronger connection to the ground. Yeah. And I'm also going to put on a little bit of music, which I just find really lovely. One of my favorite composers.
Connected to GDLC. Connected to. I found.
His name is Ludovico Einaudi. Right. You guys will be able to hear it just in the background. Yeah, so let's start off in our mountain. So in Qigong Mountain, again, the feet are slightly gripping the earth. The feet are either together or hip width apart. Right, so and if you're not really sure what your feet are doing, check them out. Sometimes people don't always know. Let me lift this up so there's less floor. There we go. Okay. So feet are together and hip width apart or hip width apart. Lifting up the lower ribs, smoothing down the lower back. Hands are going to be in the, do you know what I mean? So like I'm actually getting my rib cage off my hips. Yeah. Okay, and then what we're also going to work with is just kind of externally rotate the upper thighs, internally rotate the shins. So it's that spiraling energy again, right? Broadening the collarbones. Hands are in the Taiji Mudra. I have left over right, just below the belly button. Crown of the skull is open. Heavenly gate is closed. Heavenly gate's open, earthly doors are closed. And it's a really nice, you guys can all see behind me is white Tara, and she has eyes on the bottoms of each feet and the palms of the hands and the third eye and the forehead. So as we're moving around, imagine what it's like to really read the air with your body. Okay, as we inhale and exhale. And also if you're clenching your butt, release it. Because I just was. So notice what happens when you do and the spine lengthens upward. So this is our mountain, standing mountain. Inhaling, exhaling. And then release the mudra. Feel the air on your right hand and your left. And before we go anywhere, just imagine what it would be like to be standing underneath a waterfall. You could literally feel the water dripping off your fingertips. And anything that you need at this moment, whether it's wisdom or compassion or patience, can flow down into you through the crown of your skull and flow over you and become you. As we inhale and exhale. And then inhale, make fists. Exhale, release. Pressing the palmar fascia out. And again, inhale, make fists. Exhale, release. Right, and you may feel that movement generating all the way up into your chest as you press outward. And again, inhale, make fists. Exhale, release. And then inhale, step to the right. Lift the arms up. Exhaling into the sky. And then reach the right arm and the left arm. And again, right and left. And reach your fingers up into the sky so much that you could taste it. And maybe even your heels come up off the ground. And try to stay there, hold it. Right? Expanding yourself into the heavens, connecting to the earth through your feet. And then just turn the palms up, arms come shoulder height. There's a slight bend in the elbows. And again, feeling all the energy of the heavens falling into your palms. And then begin to bend down to whatever degree possible, but keep the upper body up. Maybe you're still on your toes, and then inhale, jump up, oh geez, and release. And we're just gonna start to shake and disorganize, and then reorganize through form. And you can use that sound to begin to move energy through your body. Notice anything that's stuck or blocked. Pitter-pattering your feet around, shaking the wrists and the elbows. And then really kind of releasing the wrists. We're gonna tap on the skull again like we did before, right? Activating the crown chakra, the heavenly gate. Moving from the top of the head to the sides and the back, running your hands through your hair. Give a gentle tug on your hair. You know, and if you don't have hair any longer, remember what it was like to have hair. And if you do have hair, imagine what it's like to not. There's a ton of meridians in the scalp, and so we're just kind of moving energy through them. And then cup the palms. Gently pat the forehead and the occiput at the same time, right? So back of the skull at the base and then the forehead. Sides of the skull. And then taking the two fingers, forefinger, middle finger, By the side of the nose, inhaling, clearing sinuses. Maybe even noticing, right, as we're mapping our body with our hands, notice if one sinus cavity feels different than the other. It quite possibly is, especially if you're getting over Rona or if you have allergies. And then you can take your thumb and just gently roll it into the top of the eye socket, helping soften the muscles around the eyes, especially if you've been on Zoom a ton. And then heels of the hands, just press them gently into your eyes. Let your head come forward, being supported by your hands, and then roll the eyes clockwise and counterclockwise about 8 times. And you may feel fluid moving down into the cavities, right? That's what begins to happen. And then come down the jaw, in the jaw joint, sides of the neck, right? Again, a lot of this is diagnostic. Are your glands swollen? Mine are not. But this is how we move energy, both subtle and gross. And then take the heels of the hands, press them into the ears, and then pull away about 8 times too. Right? Restoring equilibrium, perhaps. And then just gently tug on the earlobes, opening the eustachian tube. Right, I've mentioned this in the past. You may notice that when babies are teething, they pull on their ears, right? Soothing themselves. And then you can lean your head forward, reach back with your hand, and just grasp the muscles of the neck like you're picking up a cat, yeah? And then we'll cup the palms again and move through the chest. Noticing perhaps if any difference in the right and left lung. You can do both at the same time. Press. Top of one arm, Yang meridian, inside Yin meridian, other arm. On the top of one leg. Don't forget about the top of the feet. Do the other leg. And then the backs of the legs. And then while we're here, take your hands and just run them over your kneecaps, right? Heating the knees. In your forward fold, really let your head go. Wagging it yes and wagging it no. Let the weight of your head lengthen your neck. And when you're ready, we'll roll up and we are going to do some forward folds, Heather. You are enjoying that. And then one hip. Oh, it's so tight. So, do this, maybe do it like super slowly. And notice where it gets stuck, right? For me, it's like, right there. So I'm going to go slowly, slowly. Lubricating the hip joint, right? And go the other way. Yeah, that's it. We're just noticing range of movement. And the other one. Like, see if you can drop your awareness into your joint, the hip joint. Find the head of the femur. As you do this slowly, slowly. And just kind of notice what's fluid, what's not. Go the other way. This is also not easy to do. Maintaining balance. You could do a little Elvis. That looks great, Heather. And then let's see how this movement moves up into the shoulders, right? When you let it. And again, noticing where energy is stuck or how it's moving all the way up from the feet, through the hips, chest, and out the hands. Crown of the skull, heavenly gate still open. That's right. Be like one of those, like the wind guys. Can you be boneless? Yeah, and then let's heat up our kidneys. So the palms are going to come together, making fire, the heat of the heart. Okay, and as I'm doing this, I'm kind of utilizing an ujjayi breath that's from yoga land, right? Closing the back of the throat, helping to create more heat. And then from here, take the hands, place them on the kidneys, inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale into your palms. And again, perhaps noticing if one kidney feels different than the other. Right? It might have a different density or weight or color or sound. Do that again. Hands to the kidneys, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale into the palms. Fire of the heart, heating the water element to the kidneys. Really nice, beautiful practice that helps also with adrenal fatigue and exhaustion. Yeah. So let's take one more minute and just kind of move through your body, right? Noticing, releasing, I'm going to drop my head back and just gently relax the muscles of the tongue. I'm not going to go too loud because my kid's still asleep. Interesting noticing that. So just do a little freestyle. Now you might even, as you're doing this, just bear witness to within this body is still the infant and the child and the teenager that you were. Within this body is the elder you will be, right? If you are lucky, as conditions allow. And then just kind of begin to slow it down. Like I need a wriggle party. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just stop. And as my teachers have said many, many times, just look within. You can turn the palms out, step the right foot back to the left. Draw the arms around. Fingertips face each other, the palms face the earth. Bring the hands back into the Taiji Mudra. So what I'd like to do, I mentioned this next movement. And I want to just really get into it and do it often. This next practice, yeah, and if you need I'm going to take a sip of coffee. This movement practice that we're about to do is called Taiji Ruler. I don't know why Siri thinks I'm talking to it. It's so funny. Stop, Siri. So we're going to start in our standing mountain. Right. Belly button is drawn in slightly. That's it, Heather. Relax your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. I just release the palms again. Yeah. Feel the air. Breathe the air. And then step the left foot out at a 45-degree angle. Step the right foot forward. Okay, and my hips are still square. Yep. And then all we're going to do is just kind of shift our weight to the front foot and then the back. Yep, just heel toe. Relaxing the hands. And then, when you walk into a body of water and you're tracing it with your hands. Yep. So I want you to imagine for a moment that you've walked into a body of water and you can feel it all around you. You can even notice as you're moving the water, how the ripples move all the way down. Yeah. And maybe you can even feel, noticing the difference between air and water. And the thing is that when we are doing Qigong, right, Qi being energy and Gong is to cultivate, we are cultivating universal energy. It's around us, everywhere. Any of us just don't pay attention to it, right? So what we're going to do is come forward onto that front foot, cup the palms, and you can think about drawing out of your body all of the energy that is tired and put it forward. You can think of drawing out of your body anything that no longer serves you, or perhaps it's depleted as we inhale and exhale. Inhaling, exhale. Right? I'll show you what it looks like from the side. So, inhaling, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Yeah. And I'm going to encourage you, actually, I'm just going to guide us with the breath. I'm going to encourage you to close your eyes. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Right? You can even consider that what you are drawing out of your body are habituated patterns and thoughts that no longer serve you. All those voices that tell you nothing's no good, right? Draw them out of you. And let's do two more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So pause with your weight on the forward foot, right? Soften the palms just a little. And now what we're going to do is go the other way. But what you can consider doing is drawing in all of the energy around you, all of the chi around you, and pour it into yourself to replenish and nourish as we inhale. Right? It's like pouring a bucket of gold. Golden light filling your body. You could think of drawing in all of the wisdom and compassion of all of the Buddhas into every cell of your body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Okay, and I want you to literally see it filling every strand of your hair and your eyes, your eyelashes, your teeth and the spaces in between your teeth, flowing all the way through every organ. Yep. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Right? Still being aware of your feet on the floor, the shift of muscle and tissue and bone, the sound of the plane as it crosses overhead. Pausing for a moment to send them all loving kindness. May you be safe. And two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Step back. Hands come back into the Taiji Mudra. Both feet turn parallel. Just pause and notice. And then we'll do the other side. So inhale. Release the mudra. Exhale, turn the right foot out at a 45-degree angle. Step the left foot forward. And then again, just notice and feel. And then come forward with the weight on the front foot, cupping the palms. Inhale. Drawing out, again, depleted energy, negative patterns. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Right, you may even feel like your fingers pulling this out. And then just gently putting it forward into the earth. Inhale. Exhale. And you can make it really dynamic, rounding the back and pulling up. Or you can just make it very small and delicate. Connecting movement with breath. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And again, pausing with the weight on the front foot. turning the palms, coming around, and again, pouring into your body whatever it is that you need. Inhale, exhale, inhaling, exhale. And notice what arises in your mind as you do this. It's funny how my mind just goes immediately into mantra. I have the body of a Buddha, speech of a Buddha, the mind of a Buddha. But go perhaps slowly, slowly and nourish every cell of your body. Right? This body that still has perhaps many bodies in it, both past, present, and future. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale, nourish. Inhale, right? Gathering. And exhale. Transforming. And then step back. Yeah. We'll just draw the arms around again to seal the practice. Fingertips face each other, palms face the earth, smoothing down the subtle body meridians. And you may notice very differently, they've changed and shifted from the beginning of this session. As we and then you can release the mudra. We're going to come and sit. I want to talk about that practice real quick, but before we do, this is the earth, this is the heavens, and the human. Yeah, and then let's come and sit. Bring your coffee if you need it. So that practice is, it's one of my favorites because I've always found it, as I said, it's a nourishing practice, and it's so beautiful to really draw all of that into our bodies. And the practice of moving from right to left really helps as we get older with working with dementia, brain fog, right? We're moving from the right and left hemispheres of the brain. So it's a practice I recommend for everybody, and because it is not, it's within the realm of movement language. So it's utilizing different parts of our brain, Um, and the word, let me just pause this. So the practice itself is called Tai Chi ruler. Tai Chi is basically Tai Chi, right? So ruler meaning balancer. So we're balancing. And so when you're doing this practice, you can make it, as I said, very dynamic and really hold on the tips of the toes, and where you're holding that balance, or depending upon your energy level, not as dynamic. But the idea is, how are we cultivating and gathering the energy that's all around us, right? But also harnessing our minds. So it's a visualization practice with the movement and the breath, and just noticing and noticing. And then when you also combine it with, with our practices of finding refuge, it's beautiful, beautiful practice.